Hello, this is Pattyjo, and we are back again with the Goblin, day 12, where I don't know what date is there because we skipped some early hearings, but here we go with his defense.
Kathleen, Urel?
Oh.
That's how I think it is.
Okay. I know a lot of you have seen this before, and a lot of you have seen this trial before. Well, probably everybody has. I don't know anybody who hasn't. So this is all old news. But this lady, who was one of the people on the list for the state that they took off. And again, we can talk about that. The reason why they don't go forward with these witnesses are they didn't see anything. They couldn't identify the driver. They didn't see the car. They didn't see anybody hit. Or what they have is repetitive information. In other words, somebody else saw it or may have a video of it from a different angle. Unnecessary duplication of whatever. There's a multitude of reasons why, in this case, since he committed his crimes in front of so many people and so many video cameras, God, how do you do that? It's like the people who poop in the street. I mean, you don't think anybody's going to see you? Like, what? But not only that, but this poor lady with 4 children, and all 4 of them were injured, one critically injured. And we'll go over that when she's questioned about it. But he was actually warned by Sue Opper, who he absolutely loathes, that this was an unnecessary witness. There was nothing of substance here. And of course, he insisted there is, out of, due process for him, I suppose, she gets called for him. So this is a hard one to watch. I'm probably only going to get through, hopefully, her testimony, and then we'll take a big break, because this is a tearjerker in my book.
As we'll find out.
So. Much respect to this lady for having this kind of strength, because she knows what's coming. She has to know what's coming. She absolutely has to know what's coming.
Urel?
That's how I think it is. We'll find out.
Entitled behavior. Ugh. Thought this was going to be a light day. It's my birthday. Ugh.
All right, ma'am, if you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand, and my clerk, Teresa, who's on my left, will swear you in. Go ahead and come all the way up. Thank you.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record, and then spell each.
Kathleen, K-A-T-H-L-E-E-N. Last name Urel, Y-O-U-R-E-L-L.
Thank you so much. Your witness. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Miss Urel. Is it Urel?
Urel.
Urel.
disgusting.
What do you do for a living?
I'm in workforce management for a call center.
November 21st, 2021. Directing your attention there. You recall that evening pretty well?
Off and on, sir.
That's fair. It has been a while. Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing that evening?
At what time?
Around 3:30, 4 o'clock-ish.
I was dropping off my children who were participating in the parade.
And did you yourself stay for the parade?
Partial parade, yes.
Partial meaning maybe a few minutes.
Until my group of children went by.
Okay. Do you recall where you were positioned during watching your group participate in the parade?
Yes, on north and east, right on the corner there.
North and east.
If you're going parade route, it would be on the right-hand side.
Okay. Just so we have clarification, can we pull up the exhibit? I believe it's 15.
We can.
Thank you.
Go ahead. And thank you.
Can we show it to the witness first?
He doesn't want it published, so just to the witness for now.
Just not yet. Just I want to make sure the witness gets a chance to view it first. Can you see that on your screen yet?
I do.
And using the touch screen, it's a touch screen. Can you point out where
It's
you?
not published.
Why would
Oh.
she point it out?
I'm sorry.
He's such a
Yeah, post.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Everybody in this room, and I have to call it a room, is disgusted. Did you hear? Yes, we can from Zach Wichow. He is ready. He is primed to crush, which is not going to take him any effort whatsoever. But even the judge, you don't have it published, so why is she pointing it out to what, herself? God, what a moron.
But I just wanted to point that
So
out.
just so I know, to use the touch, it has to be published.
No, she could use it, but if you're going to have her do it, it should be done in front of the
Okay.
jury.
Fair.
Okay, go ahead.
I think we got to wait on the jury, right?
So now you want it published.
Thank you.
For the jury, can you, using the touch screen on your screen, can you point out exactly where you were positioned?
When I was watching it,
Yes, when you were watching.
right on the corner. Sorry. Oh, well, if you want to.
Okay, so she's trying to point out this corner here, which is at the very start of the parade. But allow me to point this out. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Urel, 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 and Urel. These are all 4 of her children. And here is where they are plowed over by the monster who did this, which is Darrell. He's the monster. So that is a good 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks from where she is. And she's probably already getting ready to go get the car and pick them up at the end. She's a mom. She wants to see her kids. She's got 4 kids. They probably got big plans. This is Christmas season. She wants to make this as efficient as possible. You know, this is her mindset. This is her mindset. But he's spoon feeding this to the jury. Remember, this is supposed to be his defense. Okay, let's move on. Let's watch it.
Can you clear the arrow?
We'll clear it. You can do it again.
Yeah.
If you don't want, do you want the arrow?
Well, it was to the.
Clear it again.
Okay.
So it's a touch screen, so use your index finger and you can draw a circle.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
Well, I mean,
I was gonna
I was gonna
say
say a
that.
circle or a little dot if.
Or a
I
dot.
thought I was doing that. But
Yeah.
Hold on.
Heavy
We'll get
hands.
to that. So press and hold while you draw.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
And
gonna be sick.
you said that would be approximately East Main and Northeast.
Correct.
And do you recall if those well, there's side streets right there that you can see? Is that fair to say?
Correct.
And those side streets would be Northeast and Buckley, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall if there were barricades at those?
I can't honestly recall. I can't be sure.
We could take Exhibit 15 down.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And you said you stayed at the parade until your group had passed.
Correct.
And what time did you leave?
I can't determine the time. It was right after my group of kids went by.
And where'd you go from here?
I walked down, well, I went to go get the car because I had to go pick them up at the end of the parade.
See, this is a true mom. Mom plans it. She's efficient. She's got a plan to drop off. She's got a plan to pick up. She's going to watch her kids. She's going to enjoy that. She's not there for herself. This is I like her. I gotta respect somebody like this. And look what he does to her.
I'm assuming at some point your attention got drawn to something happening. That'd be fair to say?
Not necessarily.
What do you remember when
But I was the
you
center
went to
of
go
the
get the
parade.
vehicle to pick up members of your group? Would that be fair to say first? I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
Do you recall anything happening at that point?
A situation did occur before the said big event that took place.
What do you recall happening at that time once you were on your way to get your vehicle?
I think I need more specifics from you to give the details you may be looking for.
While you were getting your vehicle, did you observe anything happening? Did you overhear about anything happening at that point?
Nothing of that nature. Well, all I can say is that I was walking past White Rock.
Did you see anything that may have alerted your attention at that time?
Yes, a car coming through the parade at the beginning on White Rock where the parade was starting. So when I left, I walked down Main to White Rock on the corner there. Then a gentleman, a child who I don't know who they were, and myself walked across the street. And at this time, a car was beeping and weaving around a slight curve that White Rock has, and then continued on.
Did you see Did you see where the car went at that point?
Yes, I did. As it came around the slight curve White Rock has, it started to move forward, and then it went straight across. When I was thinking it was going to leave the parade route, if you leave the parade route on Main, you're leaving. Sorry, if you turn left, you're leaving the parade route. If you're turning right, you're going right into the parade, and it went right to the, if you're looking at the parade, it was on the right-hand side, and it's continued on into the parade.
Hold on, just for the record, she was using her hands during her testimony. I just need, that's okay. I just need to make a record of it. Usually her right hand just kind of demonstrating the course of travel that she described, the vehicle. And I think that's probably all I need to put on the record about that. Go ahead. Next question.
I want to back up a little bit. When you first
Because
observed this car, as you said,
she didn't pay enough attention to me. She didn't bring enough attention to me. I want her to point out me. Ugh. He is so gross. He's such a disgusting. He's such a disgusting little man. I'm gonna do this. Poor guy. Gotta have that guy. Look at him. He's even disgusted. He even knows.
you recall that it was blowing its horn.
Yep, it was the horn was beeping.
Do you recall if you saw who was operating that vehicle?
Unfortunately, sir, I can't recall.
See, there you go.
Do you recall if you might have seen multiple people in the vehicle at that time? Or?
You know, unfortunately, due to the time passing, I cannot recall.
That's fair. It has been a while.
It's been a while.
Do you recall about what time that was that you observed the vehicle?
Again, I can't be sure.
Sorry if I keep asking.
No, I can't be sure. I'm sorry.
At the time that you observed the vehicle, did you see it strike anyone?
I did not, or at least I don't recall. I'm sorry.
And do you recall if the vehicle was speeding at that point that you observed it?
It wasn't speeding, but it was, all I can state is it wasn't speeding.
Did you happen to catch the license plate number of the vehicle at that time?
No, not at all.
Do you recall if the vehicle had any tinted windows?
I couldn't recall, I'm sorry.
Any windows rolled down or up at the time you observed it?
No, unfortunately, I don't remember.
Do you recall if the vehicle passed close to where you were walking at the time?
Yeah, it was close enough that it could have easily have clipped me or the two people that were in front of me.
Were you the two people that you referred to in front of you, were any of you hurt at that time?
No.
No further questions right now.
Hey, Cross.
Okay,
Thank you.
so wait. Spoiler alert. He is going to crush Darrell. This is going to be victorious and heart-wrenching all at the same time. What he makes Zach witch out to this lady is abhorrent. He didn't really prove anything because she can't remember anything if she did see it. All right, I'm ready.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rell. Thank you for being here. You testified on direct examination that you don't recall whether or not you saw more than one person in that vehicle we're talking about. Remember saying that?
Yes.
You remember meeting on December 2nd, 2021 for an interview with Detective Jay Carpenter from the WAUKESHA Police Department?
I remember going. As to a lot of topic of conversations, I unfortunately can't recall those too clearly.
Do you remember telling Detective Carpenter that you only observed a driver in the vehicle?
Objection, leading witness.
Yeah,
Overruled, you may answer.
I can't be too sure.
Overruled, you may answer.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
I can't be too sure. Again, some of the conversations I might have had that day.
Do you remember what this vehicle looked like?
I do not.
Do you remember telling Detective Carpenter that it was a red truck?
I do not.
Okay. Can we please put up for everybody Exhibit 15 again?
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in on the intersection of East and Main?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Your testimony is that you were standing here on the northeast corner of Buckley and Main Street. Is that right?
Correct.
Objection, already answered that, asked and answered.
Overruled, you may answer.
You said correct.
Correct.
And after your children walked by in the parade, you walked in this direction towards the intersection of White Rock and Main. Is that correct?
Objection,
Correct.
leading and speculative.
It's overruled as to both. You may answer. If there is another objection, just
I'll
wait
pause.
until I rule on
Sorry.
it. Thank you. No, that's okay.
Correct, that was.
And then you crossed through the crosswalk on the north side of Main Street. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that when you saw this vehicle we've been talking about?
Yes.
So you were standing in the crosswalk.
Correct.
Do you remember a police officer being in that intersection?
I can't be too sure.
Okay. Was it clear to you that this was a parade route?
Yes, it was. Very clear.
Was it clear to you that traffic from White Rock should not have driven onto Main Street
Yes.
unless they were part of the parade?
Yes.
Did it appear to you as though the vehicle we've been talking about was part of the parade?
No.
How many children do you have, Miss Urel?
Objection, irrelevant.
Overruled.
Part of the it was part of his proof that she should testify was that she had people hurt in the parade. Now it's irrelevant. No, it's irrelevant because it makes him look bad.
4 children.
All 4 of your kids were marching in the parade that day, weren't they?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Sorry again.
Your oldest daughter, Charlotte, she was 14 at the time?
Yes.
She was marching with the Extreme Dance Group as an alumni, wasn't she?
She was handing out candy.
There
Objection.
was an objection. It's overruled.
I didn't even state why I was objecting, but okay.
Because it's overruled. Who cares?
We still need a 15.
Yes, please.
God, he's just trying to interrupt.
You see on that map the 5 points intersection?
Yes.
When you were standing in the crosswalk at White Rock in Maine, could you see the 5 points intersection?
I could not.
You didn't see your kids get hit, did you?
I did not.
Objection, leading.
Sorry.
Overruled.
Again, sorry.
Objection, hearsay.
Overruled.
You didn't?
I did not.
Did you see them later that night?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I was only able to see 2 of my children that night.
When did you see the other 2?
Days later, when I was able to leave Children's Hospital.
As their mother, you were directly involved in their medical care and the decisions that were made in that process in the days after the parade?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes, their father and I.
Charlotte suffered a chipped vertebrae from being struck, didn't she?
She did.
Objection,
Sorry
leading.
again.
Overruled. You may answer.
She did.
Your daughter Alice, she was 10 at the time, wasn't she?
She was.
She suffered chipped front teeth, is that correct?
Yes.
And facial scarring
Yes.
and road rash
Yes.
and a broken fibula and tibia
Yes.
and broken metatarsal bones.
Yes.
She was observed in a concussion.
Okay, so she's got face, mouth, her leg, both bones of her lower leg, foot, and now concussion is what he's going to say next. Just for her. The other one with the chipped vertebra probably was swelling and some neurological, temporary at least, effects of that because of the swelling, and probably had to be on steroids for that. Sometimes those things can't even be fixed. So, um, you know, you chip the right part of the bone.
Concussion protocol, is that correct?
She was.
And these
Your
are not
daughter
the critical
Vivian,
ones.
She was marching with the extreme dance group too, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
How old was she in November of 21?
She just turned 7.
Vivian suffered a severe concussion, didn't she?
Objection, lady.
Overruled. You may answer.
Yes.
And road rash?
Extreme road rash.
Which means that she was dragged by a 3,000-pound vehicle. Over 3,000. She was dragged. Or thrown and tumbled. Now,
And
remember, people think road rash, this isn't serious, but let me put my paramedic hat on again. Your skin is the largest organ you have. It's the largest organ you have. It's also your first defense against infection or any kind of invasion of something. If you scrape enough of that or burn enough of it or do enough of anything to it, you will, you can really cause some serious long-term effects. Infection, increased potassium that belongs inside of the cells become outside of the cells because all of those broken cells. There's just a multitude of problems, and then for weeks or however long it takes for that to heal, you are subject to risk of these things. Your skin is your largest organ. Extreme road rash on a child that size is critical, could be a critical injury.
lung contusion?
And painful. Lung contusion. Oh my God.
Yes.
And facial scarring?
Yes.
And your 7-year-old daughter Vivian suffered a broken tailbone, didn't she?
She did.
Your son Grayson, he was 8 on November 21st,
He's the
2021,
worst.
is that correct?
That is
Objection,
correct.
lady.
Overruled.
He was walking with the extreme dance group handing out candy, is that right?
He was.
He went to the hospital after the parade, didn't he?
Yes.
He suffered a compound fracture in his femur, is that correct?
An open compound fracture.
Okay, so a compound fracture is of the femur. The femur is the strongest bone in the body. It's also a bone that in the marrow you develop your red blood cells. So the risk of bleeding is enormous. Also, it is surrounded by one of the largest muscles, your largest being your gluteus, but one of the largest, strongest muscles, which is your thigh muscles, 4 of them actually in the front and a couple in the back that really hold the strongest bone and protect that. Think about how much protection is around that. Compound meaning it was complete fracture of that bone. Open meaning that it was open to the air, so it went through the skin. So you broke the kid in half. You broke the kid's leg in half. Now, having it open to the air, the risk of infection, the risk of bleeding to death. That is a critical injury right there on the ground. Right there on the ground. Now you will hear the life-saving event that happened coming up now.
Meaning the bone came through the skin?
Yes.
Actually, hearsay. I don't believe he's a doctor.
Overruled, the witness may answer.
Not
Based
hearsay.
upon personal knowledge.
Was that a guess?
Yes.
A police officer saved Grayson's life by placing a tourniquet on that open leg wound. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
Will you read the record?
There's what you did, Darrell.
No redirect.
Thank you, ma'am.
Does he get it? Does he? Does he even get it? He doesn't get it. Because watch what he does next.
You may step down.
He turns into a thug in about a minute.
You may call your next witness, please.
So we gonna take down these exhibitors. He gonna stay up on there.
Thank you.
we gonna take down this exhibit? Is we gonna do it? Thug. Turns right into a thug immediately. Look at her. Oh, she's angry. Look at, watch out. Ooh, he is steaming mad.
Please call your next witness.
Just 1 second.
Watch very closely. Trying to draw some time for everybody else to forget. Don't worry, Darrell, we won't.
So only one more person here, right?
It's my understanding, sir. Would that be correct, Attorney
Yes.
Alper?
Yes, she's in the courtroom ready to go, Your Honor.
That face he makes. Ugh. Look how angry he is, and look how disgusted they are. I don't blame them. Okay, I think that lady deserves a standing ovation. I wish I were half the mother that she is. Half the mother. Darrell spoon-fed that to the jury. And I don't think he gets it. Tell me what you think, if you think he gets it. I can't wait to see these comments. I will see you next time, probably in a little while. I'm going to take a bit of a break because that was some pretty heavy stuff for sure. Okay, this is Patty Jo. Like, comment, subscribe if you wish. Thank you.